Steve Crawford, CEO and Senior Wealth Advisor at Experience Wealth, and today I'm proud to release the latest in our Living and Lifestyle Indexes for the 14-15 financial year. Really quickly, a bit about us. We're a specialist Gen Y, Gen X advice business. We help our clients make smart, confident decisions around their money, and a large part of that is due to our money management program, which is where this data comes from. We produce this data mainly for our clients, but our clients have said that have told us that it's really useful, and they're happy for us to share the anonymous part of this data with everybody to see if it helps them make decisions as well. The information I'll share with you today is general in nature, so if you want more help, please contact us before making any personal financial decisions. So what exactly is it? We started it in 2013, and it's basically, as I said, the anonymous spending and savings data of our clients. All our clients use the Zero Cashbook program. It's a cloud-based money management software that tracks all your income and expenses. And basically, because we split our clients into 3 different groups, and I'll show you those in a second, it enabled our clients to, and when we grouped all that data together, it enabled our clients to have another point of reference, another way that they could make decisions, specifically around what their peers were doing. And they used that to make big decisions like property purchases or maternity leave and returning to work and things like that. So what does the average EW client look like? We've got 3 groups typically. Our first one is our financially singles. So these are young females and males in their early 30s, typically working in financial services, media and law. They're living in Melbourne and Sydney in those inner suburbs. At this stage, they're more likely to be renting than they are to be owning property, and probably just focused on making the most of their income until they work out what it is that they want to do. Moving on, we get into our couples. So these guys are early to mid-30s. They've moved in together and they've moved finances in together. So they're sharing their living and lifestyle expenses. Typically renting somewhere very cool while they save up for that first property. They're even exploring the concept of renting where they live and actually buying somewhere else. So what they might want to also be doing if they're a little bit older and they've already got that first property is planning to start their family and working out what that's going to cost. They've got a fairly decent combined income in their own words. Our last group is our families. This is the group that I belong to as well. Mid-30s to early 40s, average of just over 1.5 children. Both parents work. Dad's usually full-time, mum's somewhere between 3 and 5 days. The average is 3.5 days. At least one of them are on an executive level of income. They've bought the family home and they're now just in the process of paying it off as fast as they can. They might be looking to renovate, expand the house, or even upgrade from that first home into the second one. They're also starting to think about education costs. What's included in the living and lifestyle expenses? So we split it into 2 buckets. And this is just so it's really simple for everyone to understand. Living expenses, what you spend because you have to. Lifestyle, what you spend because you want to. So within that, you can see all those different categories there. Nothing too out of the ordinary. It just makes it really simple to know where to put what. So let's go big picture first. As I said, we've got 3 full financial years worth of data on this now. And what you can see across the 3 different years, combined all of our singles, couples and families when we put them together, savings has increased over those 3 years gradually, and then a fairly decent step up this year as we've seen the full benefit of those interest rates at the lowest level for 30 odd 40 years being for that full year. Lifestyle expenses have dropped a little bit over those 3 years, but living expenses have stayed really consistent and flat. Let's break it up into the different stages. So our singles, living costs have gone up, and we typically think this is because they're choosing to rent in the places that they want to rent, but the rental costs have actually gone up quite a bit. Lifestyles, they've come off, probably to compensate for that living expense because they wanted to keep their savings in and around that 20% figure of take-home income. Into our families, the most predictable as you'd expect and consistent. So living expenses staying fairly flat at just under 60% for 3 years in a row. Lifestyle expenses are creeping up. This is probably as our families get more and more, as the kids start to do more things, they cost a little bit more. Savings, again, stayed fairly flat, just under the 20% figure. Not as good as a savings result as the singles, but still a great result. And then our last one is our couples. So the living costs have gone down for these guys. Rents are going up, but the wages growth that we've seen through our clients for the last 3 years is probably compensating extra wages relative to the rent that's going up. Lifestyle's come down as well, so our clients have maybe not gone out as much. Maybe it's Melbourne's wet weather and Sydney's wet weather that stopped that this year. And the byproduct of that is an outstanding savings result for our clients this year, north of 20%. So within your living expenses, probably the two biggest ones, or the biggest driver, is the housing and loan costs. And so this is either if you're renting, it's going to be your housing, and if you're owning and you borrowed money, it's going to be the lending cost. So the best way to look at the total cost of housing is to actually put the two categories together, and that way you get a really fair representation, because you've either got a rent or you pay a mortgage off. Here you can see over the last 3 years, as you'd expect, the housing costs have increased, which is reflective of that rental increase, but also the loan costs have gone up. Now, even though the rates have gone down, the level of debt our clients are taking on per household is a higher percentage of their income, and that's fueled by that housing boom that's come through Melbourne and through Sydney. You've got a lot of clients that have been buying in the last 3 years, and that's being demonstrated there. But what impact has this had on their total cost of living? So within living expenses, we strip out 5 categories that we say everybody has to pay, and that's for us the real cost of living. So food, health, transport, utilities, and that housing and loan aggregate figure. And what you can see is, even though the housing and the loan costs have actually gone up, the total cost of living has come down slightly from 2 years ago. So what does it mean? It means smart people make really confident and good decisions that even though one part of their spending goes up, it's being compensated for on the other side. Or if those other costs are coming down as interest rates drop and those rates are being pushed through in discounts through other aspects of their spending, then what you can see is they might be taking on a little bit more debt where it's available to them. Finally, what's the outcome of all of this? Well, if you go to that website there, Trading Economics, we use ABS data that publishes the percentage of disposable income, net disposable income that Australians save. And it's around about 9%, so slightly down from previous years, but our clients save over double that. And our top third of clients save triple that. And the reason why is because all our clients use the money management program to help them get a really healthy balance. And around about that 20% savings figure is still really easily achieved if you actually know what comes in, what goes out, and you've got a program to support you to do it. So finally, if you'd like to know more about how we might be able to help you get a great money management program, and you look like one of those 3 client types that we specialize in, those young financially singles, young couples, and young families, please email us, visit the website and contact us that way to find out more. Pick the phone up and give us a call. If you'd like to know anything else, let us know. Otherwise, thanks for listening to me for a little while, and I hope you found this stuff useful. Have a great day.